In this video, I'm going to describe how to use asynchronous operations when working with the local database. Just as when working with the local file system, synchronous operations can have a result of suspending the main application thread. If you execute a long-running query, this can freeze the application's animations, user interactions, and anything else that you might want the user to be able to see. To prevent this from happening, you can use asynchronous operations, and then the SQL operations will run in the background, freeing the main application thread to remain interactive. For this demonstration, I'll use the application asynchronous_sql.mxml in the Chapter 09 Begin project. If you're following along with the exercises, you can open this application now. This is the same application I built in the previous video. It currently opens the SQL database synchronously, and then immediately responds by closing the connection. I'm going to change this version of the application to create a new copy of the database, which we will now call contacts async. Go to line 13, where the name of the database is determined, and change the name of the database file from contacts.db to contacts_async.db. Next, go to line 15, that calls the open method, and change from the open method to open async. When you open a database asynchronously, the operation will happen in the background. When the operation is complete, the connection object dispatches an event called open. This event, and most of the others that are a part of the local database system in AIR, is dispatched as an event object typed as SQL event. Place the cursor above the async method and make an extra line of code, and add a call to the add event listener like this: sqlcon.addEventListener, listen for sqlEvent.open, and then call a method called openHandler, which we'll need to create. Now place the cursor at the bottom of the script section below the existing function, and create a new function named openHandler, which receives an event argument data typed as SQLEvent. Return void, and add the braces. Now move a little bit of code around. Go back to the createNewDatabase function and locate the code sqlcon.close. Because we're now opening the connection asynchronously, we shouldn't immediately close it, so cut and paste that code and move it into the openHandler method. Similarly, we only want to notify the user that the database has been created when this event is handled. So go back to createNewDatabase and comment out the trace method call. Go back to the openHandler method and add a call to alert.show. Remember to always select the alert class from the list of available classes, and that will ensure that the appropriate import statement is added. In the alert.show method, pass in two strings: database successfully created and opened. Save your changes and run the application, this time in normal mode. Click the Create Database button, and you should see the message appear, Database Successfully Created. I'll close the application, minimize Flex Builder, and show you that contacts.async.db was successfully created on the desktop. So that's a look at how to use asynchronous database operations. For simplicity, I'll primarily use synchronous operations in all of these demonstrations. But I'll also say that most applications deployed using the Adobe Integrated Runtime use asynchronous SQL operations to ensure that the main application thread isn't tied up while the database is active.